and Conrad's conversation on the rooftop is when they first started to reconnect in a real and meaningful way. This is a scene-by-scene analysis of Belly and Conrad in the series finale of The Summer I Turned Pretty, because every scene was necessary and purposeful, and there's so much emotional complexity in the storytelling and in Chris and Lolo's performances that should be appreciated. Before we watch this scene, we should keep in mind two things that we've learned so far in this episode. One is that Belly started out very guarded in this reunion, but as time goes on, we're seeing her gradually open up to Conrad and letting him into the more personal and vulnerable parts of herself. The second thing is that Belly's relationship with Conrad is really a reflection of her relationship with herself. This touches upon a major theme in the story about the connection between love and identity. So as we watch Belly reconcile with Conrad, we're also watching her reconcile her present with her past, the parts of herself that she's ran away from out of fear, shame, or regret.
Are we allowed up here?
It's pretty incredible, huh?
Yeah.
This is what I love about good storytelling. There are no throwaway lines. When the writing is good, every line works to build on the story or the characters. Conrad could have said anything here, but him asking, "Are we allowed up here?" says something literally and symbolically. Conrad's question tells us that this rooftop is not a public or well-known location. It's a secret place, private to Belly. Symbolically, this is Belly bringing Conrad to a more personal and intimate place emotionally.
You come here a lot?
Watch her response.
I used to.
That's a loaded response. The way she takes a deep breath as if remembering very specific memories, but she doesn't elaborate. Watch how Conrad responds to that. She's debating whether to share more. Conrad doesn't press. He doesn't pry or push her with a bunch of follow-up questions. He just lets the silence be and lets Belly decide if she wants to share more. And this is a very meaningful and deliberate part of the storytelling. I've mentioned before how Conrad honors Belly's agency. He respects her freedom to choose whether she wants him in her life and how much she lets him in. And we're going to see this over and over again in this episode, how Conrad lets Belly be the one in control, how as their reunion becomes more intimate, he always makes sure that it's on her terms and that it's what she wants. And this establishes something very important for us, the audience. I think a common take on this whole story is that this is a story about Belly having to choose between two brothers who are competing for her love, and she has to make the right choice. But that's actually not the story at all. This is not a story about Conrad having to convince Belly to be with him. This has always been a story about Belly admitting to herself that she wants to be with Conrad. The whole story arc of this series is about Belly finding her true identity so she can be true to herself about who she truly loves, which is Conrad. So it's very important that we see Belly open up to Conrad of her own accord. As this conversation continues, notice how Conrad doesn't really ask questions that mine for specific information from Belly. He's just being present and validating with whatever she's willing to share with him.
When I first got here, and I was still figuring everything out.
Look how eager and tuned in he is.
There were a lot of hours in the day. And the manager of the bar that I work at, her name is Celine, she used to work in this building. And she's the one who told me about this rooftop. And I don't know, there was just something about seeing Paris from up here, all laid out. It just made things start to click for me.
Look how he's taking in the view, trying to see it from her perspective. This is, again, that longing for intimacy with her, wanting to see things through Belly's eyes, to fill in what he's missed when he was out of her life, so he can feel closer to her and have a deeper understanding of who she is now.
The way it all just beautifully comes together, just in awe of it.
It's like the human body. If you try and make sense of it, organ by organ, it's a Sisyphean task. It's overwhelming. But if you're able to take a step back and look at it as a whole and see how the body works together in
Look how she
concert,
smiles at him.
suddenly it makes sense, and it's fucking miraculous.
Conrad just gave this whole analogy about the human body to show that he understands what Belly's talking about. And the way that she smiled as she listened to him tells us that she found it completely endearing. It's a smile of recognition and affection, that this is the same boy that she knew and loved as a child.
That's not at all what you meant, was it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
For a second, sounded like
Like a geek?
10-year-old you.
We could tell from Belly's smiles throughout this exchange that she meant this in a reminiscent, nostalgic, endearing kind of way. But Conrad's expression here is very interesting. His smile quickly faded as if there was something sobering and sad about her comment. To me, the emotional complexity of this moment is that on one hand, I think Conrad felt a part of them reconnect, that a piece of their history and connection is still there, it's not completely gone. But there's a sense of sadness here because he also realizes that he may only exist in the past for Belly. The big question that Conrad's trying to answer by coming to Paris is whether Belly still has any feelings for him now. Their unfinished business is that the last time they were together, he confessed his love for her and she called out for wedding. That meant something, and he knew at that time that she still loved him. But Belly ran away and went no contact for a year. He doesn't know how she feels now, or even why she left in the first place. Did she come to Paris to just get some space and think things through, or did she come to forget and move on from him? Does she have any feelings left for him? Is there any chance that they could still be together? These are the questions that Conrad is trying to answer. It's the closure that he's waited for a year to get. So the hint of sadness we see in Conrad here is because he's assuming Belly only sees him as someone from her past, and he doesn't want to just exist in the past for her. He doesn't want to be just a memory for her. He wants to be her present. And as nice as it is that Belly still has fondness for him, for their shared history, Conrad must be wondering, is that all he is to her now? Someone who only belongs in her past? Okay, we're only halfway through this rooftop scene, so I'm gonna need more time. Go to part 2.